I want to go a little bit back to your dear husband. He actually was the icon of Chinese Australian.
No, yes, well, actually, his story is very unusual because he's from Shanghai, and when he first came here, he was the only person who spoke Mandarin. Everyone spoke Cantonese. So he couldn't make friends with anybody because he couldn't talk to them.
No.
And so even I couldn't talk properly to him. He actually came here under very unusual circumstances because even though he was married to me and I'm an Australian born here and I'm a second generation Australian, he couldn't come here as my husband. He wasn't allowed to come as my husband. So that was the immigration rules of those days, and it was a white Australia policy. So they didn't want more Chinese to come. No. So he was only able to come under a special arrangement as a business migrant.
Okay.
And
early business migrant.
The first, well, I don't know whether he's the first or not, but he came as a business migrant. That was under special permission by Arthur Corwell, who was the Minister for Immigration.
Wow.
And it was because of Mr. Corwell that my husband came here. So we were just lucky that he was able to be a good businessman because the condition was that he had to import at least £500 per year.
Wow, that was a lot.
That was a lot of money.
Time.
Yeah, but maybe $100 or more $1,000 today. If he didn't reach that target, he would have to leave. Even though he was married to me and our children were born here. And for 15 years, that was the rule.
How did he cope with that?
It didn't worry him because he those things are small things to him. With small things to
So
him.
big things for him.
Big things is keeping your head above water, I suppose.
Yes.
But he was lucky.
Yeah.
He was just born a good businessman. Yeah. So that was just lucky.
Yeah.
After a little while, he thought, he was doing well in business, and he wanted. Well, actually, we knew a lot of people. He got to know a lot of well-known people in Melbourne, and many of them said to him, "Why don't you try and do something
exciting,
extra?" You know.
Yes.
So he was asked by friends and the people he knew to try for the Melbourne City Council, and so he stood for that for the Gibbs Ward, which is Chinatown, covers Chinatown. Yes. And he organised a great campaign. He's a great organiser of campaigns. He was very good at organising and very good at very detailed things. So we did everything. We even sealed all the envelopes, wrote all the things, put them in the letterboxes, rang everybody up, the whole family, all the people we knew helped us. And he got in, he won, he was elected. Yeah. It was elected by the people.
So when was that?
That was 1969, he was elected to the Melbourne City Council.
It is extraordinary.
And 1965 was just the end of this, just 4 years before the end of the White Australia policy.
So besides Chinese, it will be one of the Asian migrant who's been...
Yes, probably, because there were other Chinese. There was a Chinese mayor in Darwin, but he was born here. But my husband was the first one, a migrant. Yes. So, and then since then, many migrants are now, in local and federal politics.
How did he cope with limited English to make speech to the public?
Did very well. First of all, in the beginning, he asked me to teach him English. That's how I got to know him.
So your wife and a teacher?
No, because he's a person he's a great opportunist. Wherever the opportunity is, he would grab it. So he grabbed me to teach him English, for nothing, for free.
So that was, you met?
We met here.
Here? Oh, I see.
Anyway, so but with his English, he actually had a teacher come every week. The whole time he was here, he had a teacher come twice a week. But he never ever got it that well that he was comfortable with it. But so he always practiced his speeches. He wrote very good speeches, and he spoke very well. It
became the representative of people.
Yeah, he
in a completely English-speaking country.
He was one of those people, just had to challenge whatever was in front of him.
Fantastic.
Yeah. This is presented to me after my husband died. and it was signed by the Lord Mayor of Melbourne of the day and the town clerk.
The treasure at home is not just a treasure like the ornament. It's a treasure of our culture, the people, the thoughts, the contribution to the country. That is the broad, interpretation of the treasures. And the children, all follow the fathers and mothers' examples.
Well, my eldest son joined us in the business. Two boys joined us in the business, Christopher and Mark. Yeah. They're both in the business. And then I think that Mark was a painter, actually. He was a beautiful painter. And when he graduated from the National Gallery, he wanted to be an artist. But my husband said, why don't you try a couple of years in the business and see how you go? So Mark was there for 2 years, and in that 2 years my husband died. So Mark was stuck there in the business, never became a painter. So I don't know whether he regrets it today, but anyway.
And he also inherited father's spirit to engage in dialogue.
Yes, well, in that way he's very creative, so he's done a lot in the Chinese Museum because he's very good in decoration and programs for cultural programs for the museum, and in that way he's very good. So his creativity has gone that way instead of to his painting.
And he's still engaged heavily into the Chinese Museum.
Oh yes,
daily work.
I think that all the programs are mostly his doing.
Bringing dragons to Melbourne is quite a historic thing because when we made its father, no one had actually made a dragon for 30 years in China. So just straight after the Cultural Revolution, we actually had to take the dragon parts back and actually show them how to make a dragon. So we had to reinvent dragon making in China.
I remember the last year, and he brought Chinese Museum to Tianjin City.
Yes.
As Melbourne's sister city's 30-year sister city relationship celebration.
Right. Yeah. So I think this year there was something to do with Australian in Shanghai, the Australian Pavilion. I think he did something there too.
And also that's right. The Shanghai Expo.
That's right, yeah. He helped with that pavilion, yeah.
So he's also very global. And to maintain the Chinese culture as part of global culture, especially Australians.
And then my eldest son, Chris, he was the businessman, so he carried on after my husband died. And he was good at that.